Jennifer got it.
Ask me for you to rescue me. In your arms, take my nightmares into dreams.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm John Thielon, and this is Helping Hand. Our story begins with Carlos Lopez, a high school kid who wanted a summer job like so many other teenage boys do. He planned on working the entire summer to make enough money to, get this, buy a car. Ever since Carlos was a young child, he had discovered different entrepreneurial ventures that made him some money. From having a lemonade stand to washing cars in people's driveways, Carlos somehow always figured out a way to make himself some money. At a young age, Carlos saw himself as the man of his family. He never knew his dad, Alex Lopez. Carlos's mom was pregnant with him when his dad, Alex, was serving in action as an Air Force pilot during Desert Storm. A surface to air missile hit his plane, unfortunately, and Alex did not survive. At any rate, life was simple for the Lopez family. Carlos's mom, Selena, she worked every day as a nurse. Pardon me. She never remarried, and she spent all of her free time as much as possible with Carlos, who, well, basically, he's everything to her. There's nothing stronger than a mother's love for their child, you know. Alex knew this, and he always worked hard at being the best son that he could be. So, okay, it was the first day of summer vacation just after his high school wrapped up their school year. Carlos got an idea. He was going to create a sign and wear it around town. You know, like an old sandwich board sign? The sign would say, "I will work for food." He really believed that people would read this sign and, just give him money instead so he wouldn't have to work. And that's when life happened. So while strangers were giving Carlos money thinking that he was hungry, he saw a man, Carlos did, about his mother's age, who walked up to a nearby garbage can and he took food out of it. Carlos started to feel a little embarrassed and kind of ashamed of lying to these people with his "I'll work for food" sign. So he took off the sign and he walked over to that hungry looking man. As he got closer, Carlos yelled out to him,
"Sir, I have something for you. Here is some money. Don't eat that bad food. It's going to make you sick. Please take this money and buy yourself lunch and dinner."
Thank you, but no thanks. I don't need your money. Please leave me alone.
"Hey, I saw you take that food out of the garbage can. You must be hungry, so just take the money. I'm trying to help you."
What don't you understand? If you want to do something good, then leave me alone and go away. Thank you for your money offer, but I don't need it. Please, go away.
Well, that night, Carlos got home, told his mom, Selena Lopez, what had happened, what he had done, and, well, here's what he had to say.
Mom, I did a foolish thing today. I put a sign that told everyone I would work for food. Don't get mad. I would never do that again. But people were giving me money, and then I saw a homeless man taking food out of a garbage can.
Carlos, how can you? When are you gonna grow up? I thought I raised you better than this. There are many homeless people out there who genuinely need a donation. That's just wrong what you did. That man should have got the money.
Mom, I know, but listen, I went up to that homeless man and they offered him all the money I was given, and he didn't want it. He told me to leave him alone, and he didn't need it. I don't understand why he didn't take the money. He was eating food from a garbage can.
Papi, it's called pride, my son. That man may have been homeless, but he had feelings, you know? Many of these people lost their jobs or family. They don't want to be homeless, but it just happened to them. That man would rather eat food out of the garbage can than accept your money. He didn't want you to feel sorry for him.
Reality can sometimes be a hard thing to see. Some people feel that they're invincible and can conquer it all. But the world can be hard, and for some people, it's about surviving. There are families, living from paycheck to paycheck with very little savings. So Carlos couldn't stop thinking about that homeless man. For some reason, he just felt like he had to do something. Maybe it was the jacket that the guy wore with all the Air Force badges on it, or his pride in not taking the money that made Carlos want to meet him again. So Carlos went to his friend Bobby Walker's father, Wayne Turner. I'm not Bobby Walker, beg your pardon, just Bobby. His father was Wayne Turner, and his father is also a police officer. So Carlos thought Officer Turner might know of this homeless guy.
Wayne, it's me, Carlos. Can I talk to you about something?
Sure. Hey there, Carlos, of course. What's up? Bobby told me you had something to ask me about. He said it's about a homeless guy downtown.
That's right. There's this homeless man downtown who wears a jacket with Air Force badges on it. I saw him eating food from a garbage can, and I offered him money, but he didn't take it. Do you know about him?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that guy. I see him on the beat once in a while. That's, como se llama, Anthony Stone. He's a military vet. He served in the Air Force during the Desert Storm operation in the Gulf War. You probably saw him there because there's a veteran hospital down the street. Yeah, he probably just had a doctor's visit or something.
Is he okay? I just keep thinking about him. I just want to be sure he's all right.
It's okay, Carlos. He's a good guy. He's just down on his luck, but yeah, he'll be fine. I know why you're so concerned, though. My son Bobby tells me how your mom Selena has your apartment walls covered with pictures of your dad. I know your dad is a hero. He gave his life to protect us in the country. There's no greater man than your dad. So seeing the Air Force jacket probably touched you a little. Yeah, how wouldn't it? But you know what, Carlos? Believe me, Anthony will be just fine.
He just deserves better. He served in the Air Force like my dad. How can he be treated this way? He's a hero too.
Well, Carlos, sometimes these veterans they see things and did things that we could never imagine. The old saying, "War is hell," and those memories and feelings they really never go away. Sometimes the war never ends in their minds either. But Anthony's got a good wife. Her name is Susan. She works at the beauty parlor. You should go there and ask her how Anthony's doing, if that'll help make you feel better.
Well, Carlos could not let his feelings go. Whenever he saw his dad's picture on the apartment walls, he really just felt a visceral need to help Anthony. So he went to talk to Anthony's wife, Susan, at the beauty parlor.
Hi, Susan. I'm Carlos. Can I ask you something? We don't know each other, but my friend Bobby's dad, Mr. Wayne Turner, the police officer, told me you're Anthony Stone's wife.
Hi, Carlos. That's true. Anthony is my husband. So, what's up? Is he okay?
I'm just a high school student, but I saw Anthony eating food from a garbage can. I'm just worried about him. My dad served in the Air Force, and I heard Anthony did too.
He did. And Anthony and your dad were best friends. And they both went to the same high school together and both joined the Air Force together. Actually, we were all pretty good friends. I knew your dad too.
You're blowing my mind. I can't believe this. You both knew my dad in high school and were friends?
Yeah, we were really good friends. I know. What a small world. We all had some really fun times back then. But I just don't understand why these two decided to join the Air Force, but they did. Your dad and Anthony, they went into flight school together and they both became jet pilots. They were living out their dreams. But when Anthony came home and was done with his active duty, he just wasn't the same. To this day, he still wakes up from having horrible nightmares from serving. He never tells me about them, but I know. I can't even imagine what these two had to go through during Desert Storm. The Gulf War was so horrible.
But he survived it. He made it home. Not like my dad.
I know. I guess in a way, him hearing and seeing all of his friends dying, maybe he didn't want to survive and come home. it still haunts him. People around town think he's homeless, but he has a home. We even have plenty of money to survive. I think I just come to believe that he acts this way because he just hates himself. But you know what? He's a really good man and he loves me. And he's a really good husband. But he's empty inside. So I just learned to accept him and all of his ways. He's still my high school sweetheart. And I'm very lucky to have him.
Carlos ended up learning a lot from his talk with Susan Stone. He stopped by the beauty parlor many times to talk with her. She'd share her old high school pictures with him and would tell endless stories about his dad, Alex, and her husband, Anthony. Learning about his dad made Carlos feel pretty good. Carlos told his mom about all of these stories. She wasn't originally from this town and went to a different high school back once upon a time. At first, she didn't know the man her son saw eating food out of a garbage can was, in fact, Anthony Stone. But once she found out, she began telling Carlos stories about him as well. She knew Anthony was her husband's best good friend because he always spoke about him, and they, again, joined the Air Force together. Carlos's mom was also in the Air Force. She served as a nurse when she met Alex. So she understood pretty much what Anthony was going through. She now also wanted to help him as well. She talked to Carlos about it.
Carlos, I understand why you want to help this veteran. I feel that your dad is asking us to. I believe things happen for a purpose. You were meant to see him eat the food out of the garbage can. You were meant to help him. And I know a way you can do that.
How, Mom? How can we help him? What can I do?
Well, I believe he's dealing with self hate. He lost his self esteem. Doctors today deal with these feelings by putting people on pills. They work, but there are other ways. Connecting with someone and showing the respect and love goes a long way too. This is what we need to do.
But how, Mom? When I offered him my money, he kept asking me to leave him alone. He doesn't want help.
That's because you were a stranger to him and he didn't want your pity. He doesn't know who you are. He has no idea that you're his good friend's son. So we need to introduce you to him in a clever way. Let him figure it out for himself.
Mom, so you have a plan? Let's do it.
Here's your dad's Air Force jacket. Look, it has all his Air Force badges on it and his name. It's the most valuable thing I own. I believe if you approach Anthony wearing this jacket, he will ask you about it. Then you can tell him about your dad. This will shock him and he will start asking you questions. Don't tell him you know about him being dad's high school and Air Force friend. Let him tell you. His past memory will come back and he will start to feel the good times they shared together.
So I should just let him talk and play clueless?
Yes, just listen. Believe me, that Air Force jacket will be doing all the talking for him, to him.
So, okay, that's exactly and actually what Carlos went and did. He first got a hold of Anthony's wife, Susan, to find out when Anthony went downtown to the Veterans Hospital. Once Carlos found out the time he was going to be doing that, he went there and waited by the front entrance door. At that point, Carlos saw Anthony leaving the building, and that's when he walked up to him.
Sir, I like your jacket. It's really cool. Look, it's just like mine. Where did you buy it?
Kid, leave me alone. Get out of my way.
No problem. I just want to know where you bought your Air Force jacket. Mine is old and I want a new one.
What are you talking about? You can't buy this jacket. You have to earn it. This is an Air Force flight jacket. It's the real thing, not like yours.
Don't say that about my jacket. This is my dad's jacket. He served in the Air Force as a pilot. Don't you see all his badges? Look, can you see them?
Wait a second. What? Just wait. That says Alex Lopez. The name says Alex Lopez. Your dad gave you this jacket?
Well, my mom gave it to me to wear. My dad's plane was shot down during a mission in Desert Storm. He didn't survive, so I actually never met him because my mom was pregnant with me when he died.
Your dad is Alex Lopez. Oh, son, he was my best friend in high school and in the Air Force. We went to flight school together. I never said this to anyone, but I was on the mission with your dad. We were flying towards a compound filled with terrorists and got chased down by surface to air missiles. Your dad's jet was hit. I saw him parachute out and protected him as he descended down. I called in for a rescue mission and gave them the directional coordinates of where he went down. We all waited to hear good news, but it never came. It was the worst day of my life.
You saw my dad's jet go down and you protected him as he floated to the ground? You're his best friend. You were there for my dad? You were with him? My mom has pictures all over our apartment walls. She feels he's still with us. I see his pictures every day. My mom never let me wear his Air Force flight jacket, but today was the first time. She told me it's the most valuable thing she owns. She said my dad came to her in a dream and told her, you, his best friend, needs this jacket more than she does. So I am offering you my helping hand. Anthony, if you want my dad's jacket, I'm offering it to you. My mom and dad want you to get your life back, to believe and respect yourself, to live again and enjoy life, to get your self esteem back, and most of all, to become my friend and tell me every story you can remember about my dad. He is my hero. And Anthony, you are my hero for protecting my dad like you did. The end.
Helping Hand was conceived and created by Joel Emil, who is also the writer of this episode. Here now are all the actors and the characters they played. Ryan Evans played Officer Wayne Turner. John Plunkett played Anthony Stone. Kiana Charles was Selena Lopez. Jennifer Service played Susan Stone. And Joel Emil played Carlos Lopez. Thanks as always to Gino DiPiero, our producer and recording engineer from HamiltonRadio.net. And me, again, I'm John Thielon, your host and narrator. Thank you for listening. We'll see you next time on Helping Hand. And as always, keep the faith. Don't ever give up because your opportunity is closer than you think.